Welcome back, viewers. Our focus remains on the top developments of this hour, where US President Donald Trump has delayed the start of the tariffs on Mexico and Canada for a month. Monday, after the US neighbors struck last-minute deals to tighten the border measures against the flow of migrants and the drug fentanyl. Global stock markets had slumped as Trump's threat of a sweeping 25% levies on exports from Canada and Mexico to the United States sparked fears of global trade war. But after calls with Trump just hours before US tariffs were due to take effect, both Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum struck deals for a postponement. Trump has said that after very friendly talks with Sheinbaum, he had immediately paused the tariffs on Mexico and that his counterpart had agreed to send 10,000 troops to the US-Mexico frontier. The tensions appeared higher between the US and the Canada, but after two separate calls, Trump said that he was very pleased and announced 30-day halt in the tariffs. And he said that Canada has agreed to ensure that we have a secure northern border and to finally end the deadly scourge of drugs like fentanyl that have been pouring into the country. Trudeau also further said that after the good call that Canada deploy nearly 10,000 frontline officers to help and secure the border, list drug cartels as terrorists, appoint a fentanyl czar, and crack down on money laundering, it was not clear the real extent of the changes of the Canadian border. Given that just this December, authorities said that they already had 8,500 personnel deployed. Meanwhile, China remains in the firing line for Trump tariffs. It faces a further 10% duty on top of existing levies. All right, my colleague Aditya Vadhavan is there with me on the broadcast on the same. Now, there has been a delay just days after US President Donald Trump has announced the increased spike in the tariffs on Canada, China and Mexico. But as far as in fact Mexico and Canada are concerned, the postponement of the tariffs has been decided. What is the series of events that have led up to this decision?
Simran, if you see what has happened, the day that Trump had announced that he had signed an executive order placing tariffs on Mexico and Canada, what had happened, that the immediate effect of what the signing of the executive order had been, that the currency of Mexico peso and the Canadian dollar had immediately crashed at an all-time low. This caused a sort of a shockwave. This sent a shockwave among the political circle of Canada as well as Mexico. Mexico, what had happened that the Mexico president Claudia Sheinbaum had immediately had a discussion with her party members regarding what needs to be done. Because the major concern regarding because why Trump had signed such an executive order that he had accused Mexico of supplying due to illegally fentanyl drug was being trafficked into Mexico and other human trafficking stuff were also being done. Trump has also time and again repeatedly accused China also as well when it comes to fentanyl. So all these factors were taken into account, and what had happened that Mexico and Canada did retaliate with placing 25% tariffs on US imports. But the major factor here needs to be seen that there is a $1 trillion trade deficit of Canada and Mexico with the United States of America, and that became the major reason why Trump had signed an executive order targeting imposing tariffs on both these countries. As far as China is concerned, this tariffs would have are further increased because there is already during the last Trump administration also there was a visible trade war with China, America and China. So all these factors are need to be kept in the loop before analyzing the things. And so suddenly what had happened after a telephonic conversation with Trump, Mexican president had managed to get the postponing of the tariffs. As per the call between Trump and Mexican president, certain many national coast guards, many national security people will be deployed along the Mexico-US border to see that no illegal migration take place. And the immediate resultant of what what this meeting saw is that the Mexico had seized a substantial amount of fentanyl when the United States of America imposed tariffs on Mexico. So all this needs to be seen in a particular perspective and needs to be tracked. Yes, Imran, back to you in the studio.
All right, Aditya, I'll request you to kindly stay on with us, as in fact, I also have my guest joining me live on the broadcast, Colonel J.S. Sodhi. Appreciate you joining me live this morning, and thank you for speaking to us. Now, in the latest, Donald Trump, in fact, takes office with full command of the US government and has decided to pause Canada and Mexico tariffs for at least 30 days. As China Levies is set to take effect on Tuesday. This is what we are learning at this point of time. How do you respond to this important breakthrough? And how do you view this, in fact, impacting the decision that has been taken by US President Donald Trump?
Jai Hind, Simran. It's my honor to be on a esteemed panel. Well, certainly, when he had announced earlier he would impose 25%, its northern and southern neighbors, that is Canada and Mexico respectively. And the way Canada and Mexico have responded by to station more troops along the borders to prevent the ingress of fentanyl and illegal immigrants in USA, Donald Trump has won the first round. But what is immense importance now will be how China will respond to Donald Trump's tariffs on China. So China, it would be approaching the World Trade Organization to file a suit against Donald Trump and US tariffs that they have called it. So China certainly is going to bow down to USA. At the same time, please understand that now that Mexico have terms, he now have a more conciliatory attitude towards Mexico and Canada, because the more he tries to antagonize Canada and Mexico, it's a fertile ground for China to make influence in both its northern and southern neighbors, which can create immense trouble for America. So by far, Donald Trump has clearly won the first round. He has done pretty well. He has been sticking on to each of the promises that he made in his various election campaigns in the run-up to the 47th American presidency. However, now he needs to recalibrate and ensure that he doesn't antagonize both the neighbors so that it creates more problems for America.
All right, Colonel J.S. Sodhi, thank you very much for sharing this information and also giving us your opinion on that. Now it's time to shift our focus to other developments.